Hey guys, welcome to another video. We're going to be working on the FRS again. It's right here. We're going to be doing the wheel studs. Alright, so we got some ARP wheel studs from Amazon. Just bought them up. Took a minute to get to the house, but it's okay. And then we got some lug nuts here. Let me show you. Right here. They're pretty cool. They're steel, so we don't have to worry about aluminum threads ripping out or anything like that. The thread pitch is 12 by 125, and this is kind of what they look like. They're, I guess you'd call them chrome, but they're a little bit darker than chrome. I don't know. They said something titanium or something like that. So yeah. But we're gonna be doing that today, and we may throw this video in tomorrow and do the brakes on the truck. But yeah, they send you with or they send a tool for they send you a socket is what I'm trying to say, and it's got two different size cuts on it there. You see the step in the middle? That's weird. Two different size sockets could fit on that. It's pretty cool, but yeah. I've already got the lug nuts broken loose. If y'all remember from the last video, if you don't and you're new to the channel, then hello, welcome. My name's Marcus. We are building my FRS, 2013 FRS. But the last video I showed you that the business that I went to cross-threaded and impacted two of my lug nuts and wheel studs. So we're having to fix the car. I keep looking at myself, and I need to be looking at the camera. And we're also filming on my phone too, so we don't have any of the weird lighting issues or any of the washed out look or anything like that, you know. Couldn't figure out the ISO of the camera, and my phone takes a dang good picture. So yeah, let me get it jacked up. We're gonna do one side at a time, so we're gonna do front and back on one side, move over to the passenger side and do front and back. Okay, and then I'll throw this video in. I'm only going to show like how to do one or two, like the front driver's side and the rear driver's side. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe, feel free to click that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. I don't post a ton, so notifications are well, if you want to watch the videos, necessary. If you just want to look at them every now and then, just, you know, subscribe, that's cool. But yeah, this is what we're doing, and welcome to the journey, because it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. I haven't revealed the engine on this channel, but on my live stream channel, I think they know already. But yeah, let me get this set up and we'll get it taken care of. Right here. So obviously you gotta take the wheel off, right? You gotta take the brake caliper off, stuff like that. But I want to show you guys the process. Take the wheel off. You set it out of the way, roll it under the car, whatever you want to do. Some people roll it under there just in case it falls. Yeah, so you can see I got a jack stand, and then the jack's still on the tow hook, but yeah, whatever. Y'all seen us do these rotors and brake pads in the last video. They're Stop Tech rotors and brake pads. I think they're like the Sport Street or something. I don't know exactly, but they're performance based parts, I guess. And the rotor is a used part because it's not drilled. I don't want drilled. Drilled has a tendency of cracking. after so many heat cycles, or after so much heat. So yeah, we're not gonna do that. I think it's, let me see, I think we're 17 on the brake caliper bracket. It's a 17 mil. Let me see. Yeah, 17 mil, and then I think the slide pin bolts is what I call them are let's see, 12 or 14. Let me try 14 first. Yeah, 14. Okay, so 17 and 14, get the brake caliper off. You may have seen that in the last video, you may not have, but I'll just show it to you now, I guess. Loosen up that caliper a little bit so it'll slide off that rotor. And I put them on there, so, well, I didn't put them on there that tight because they don't need to be super stupid tight. Super stupid. Got it. Y'all listening? Super stupid. That's the way it works. Yeah. Kind of hate working with gloves, but anything with brakes, my hands mess up. So, yeah. Okay. It's loose enough. And then 17. I feel like all y'all seen was the side of my face right there, but we'll fix it if it was. Okay. Now those I put on stupid tight. I don't want that brake caliper coming off. Yeah, we may have to break out the breaker bar. And I put them on with this too. Good deal. Okay. I'm just going to loosen it a little bit, and then I'll take them off. There. All right, and we'll be right back. All right, so rotor's off, and the brake caliper is hanging from the spring. I don't know if you can see that. Zip tied it up because it needs to be. So I've never done this, but here's what we're gonna do. Okay, these are the studs that we need to knock out. So you turn it to the side. There's more than enough room to clear. Here, I'll try and show you. There's more than enough room on that side right there to clear the head of that stud on the wheel bearing there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the old lug nuts on, these little acorn deals. Okay, well, if I can get it hold of it, put these little deals on, you know, I'm not going to bottom them out, but I'm going to put them on there a little ways. Some people wouldn't do this, but some people just knock them out. But I'm going to screw them on there like that. Take my little sledge. I don't know how hard I'm going to have to hit it, but I mean, you see that the splines on this are that thick at least. Well, they are, okay? So, and I'll show you what I mean by splines when I get it knocked out. So here we go. You ready? I'm not. There we go. Okay. Take that lug nut off. I think we'll just use the same lug nut because that's a casualty. Yeah, I knew it was a cap on the top, but I didn't know it was that weak. All right, so here's the splines. And the threads are still good because I didn't hit like the end of them, right? So yeah, let's just knock the rest of them out. Okay. So now all the studs are out, which is cool. We got a lug nut to use for that now. Can't see it because of my big goofy gloves, but we got a lug nut to use now. So this is pretty cool. You can see, which I don't know if you can, but imagine you can. There's splines on the inside to match up with splines on the lug or on the wheel studs, and it's about halfway. Okay, so I guess that's enough to keep it from spinning, apparently. I mean, Toyota and Subaru thought it was perfect. So yeah, let's just do that. Okay, now what we have to do is, I don't have any power tools, battery or air, or pneumatic, whatever you want to call it. So this is going to be the fun part. I went and got a wheel stud installation tool, which is pretty much a bearing with a taper on the inside for the lug nut. So it's got that taper on the inside for the lug nut to seat with, and then it's a bearing on the inside, I guess, for pneumatic tools and stuff that spin at higher RPM than hand tools. But so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these big old boys. Let me show you the difference here. Let me show you the difference. Yeah, quite a bit more threads there, right? And then the lug nut also is open-ended and steel, so it's not gonna be goofy. Well, that's fun. Okay, there we go. A little finagling. Okay, so now we put the tool on here, and then a lug nut. Let me grab one. And then I guess we can for the sake of it, because it is a deep well, you know, super deep well socket. So here, like so. And now that it's tight, it's going to start pulling it in. It'll spin, and I think it may click just a touch until those splines on the end, on the back side there, line up correctly. So let's see, is this a 17? That is not even a 17. Oh, okay. So we're gonna have to use the 3/8 drive. Bro, it's 3/8 drive. Let's go. I use this ratchet for everything. Probably shouldn't, but I mean, lifetime warranty, Mac tool, right? Yep. Let's do it. I don't know how, because it's gonna it can free spin. Oh, great. That's why you do it with air tools, guys. But yeah, this is gonna work out perfect. Let me see if I can get it to where you can see here. Okay, so here's the head of the stud. Now watch it. I'm gonna try and keep it as still as I can while how was I doing it? I don't exactly remember how I was holding it, but I want you to be able to see that it gets sucked up in there. And once I get one in, it should be easier for me to hold. But this is where it's going to get hard, because I think those splines are longer than what's on the actual spindle here. I think. They may not. No, if they are, they're just a tad bit. Just a tad. You know, just a tad. It's really hard for me to keep y'all in focus and be able to do this right, so doing the best I can. But you can see that it's getting pulled in, right? Okay, I'll show you when I get it done, okay? It just pulls right in. I'll show you guys it's fully seated. Okay, so you guys see, fully seated. And I was afraid that it was being pulled in crooked, but that's the gist of it, pretty much. Now let me just back up some and take this off. Okay, now let's look at the studs, see if they're any worse for wear. Those look a little, I wouldn't say, they're not stretched. They're not stretched. I was just, threads look good. You know, this area right here is a little sketchy to me. I don't understand why that's discolored, but yeah, it's fully installed. Now let's do it 19 more times. Y'all ready? Nah, I'm gonna save y'all that. And then I'll catch y'all. Well, I gotta readjust the e-brake. I told y'all if it was too loose in the last video that I would have to readjust it, and I haven't done it yet. So we're gonna do that when I get to the back. I'm gonna do these today, and I may have to start early tomorrow and just leave the car overnight with them all broke loose. Yeah, I'll just write myself a note or something and say, hey, those lug nuts are loose. When I get the wheel back on, I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, cool. I know I said I'd show y'all with the wheel on, but here's it with all the studs in. What I done to get the last one in, because I was wedging the old stud in the back, is I used the head of the old stud against the head of the new studs. So I would jam it against the end of this right there, but I would jam it just enough for it to stop, and then I would tighten it in for the last one, which, I mean, I didn't use it up for all of them like that, so I think it'd be all right. Okay, what it looks like, and I think it's going to be a huge upgrade from what I had. I just hope these lug nuts are decent. I should have read the reviews, honestly. Every one of them, almost every one of them has that spot on it, and I don't know if that's for me or if that's from the lug nut, but almost every one of them has it right there in the same spot where I was tightening it. Y'all couldn't even see. Wow, why didn't y'all tell me? Shoot, that spot right here, that light spot there, there, yeah. I hope these lug nuts are decent and not some piles of trash. But yeah, I'll show you when I get it all back together, okay? Well, before my neighbor starts mowing too much, here's what they look like. Pretty cool, I think, with the factory wheel. And side note, the factory wheel is 17 by 7 by, and the offset's positive 48. Okay, I read it on the back of the wheel. That's a factory Scion wheel, so if you want to fight with me, you're wrong. I'll show you on the next wheel when I take it off, okay? So yeah, all I need to do is tighten those up a little bit more, and we should be good. I don't know, I'm just looking at it. I'm admiring my work. I've been putting it off for way too long. Pretty cool though, right? Pretty cool. All right, so we got the tire off, obviously. Got a nice layer of surface dust, dusty rust, rusty dust. Yeah. All right, so all these studs are here just like yesterday. All those studs were there. You adjust the, let's see, yeah, I left the e-brake alone. I think it's either up top or down low. But this adjuster adjusts the e-brake that's on the inside of this disc drum, because this is the disc for the brake, and then the parking brake is on this surface on the inside. So we got to bust off this bolt and then the equivalent bolt, kind of the same right here. Loosen up these slide pin bolts so it'll move off the rotor, so we can take and twist it off the rotor. Hold on a second, let me try something so much better. So we can take and, you know, twist this off the rotor and then pull the rotor off. It shouldn't be like rusted on like the old one was, where you have to use the push off holes, but we'll see. And another thing is, because I adjusted the e-brake in too much and didn't adjust it out enough, we should just be able to pull this rotor off. But let me see, I'll set y'all up. I feel like you guys are getting a good view of my knee down there, so let's take and rotate you over here, get a picture of this knee. Okay. And now tighten that up so it won't hardly move. All right, now I'll bring you back out here for a better shot. Let's see if I can just do this. Yeah, cool. That e-brake is not adjusted correctly. I shouldn't be able to do that. You'll see what I mean right there. There's the brake shoes for the e-brake and stuff. This one's going to be fun because I'm going to have to take that assembly off to be able to punch these out. Well, I could squeeze them through here and get them out, but getting the new ones in, because they're twice as long as that, is not going to be fun. So yeah, let's figure this bad puppy out here. Here's the adjuster. All right, so it's down low. This adjuster here. You spin this little star wheel. You spin that and it pushes it out or pulls it in. Okay. This little spring. Alright, so this hook here was hooked over and around, coming back towards this way. This loose one here, and then this one here was loose, or was hooked around and coming back down that way. And this spring here is pulling tension on that, which this was sitting like that. Okay, and there's a spring down here which holds that spin, the adjuster, and that's what's pulling tension and pulling it all down together at the bottom. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Let's just get this off. These don't look, they're not incredibly dirty. I mean, they are to be brake shoes, but it's brake shoes. You'd expect it to be like that everywhere, and that's not even that bad. Doesn't look like it on camera anyway. All right, so what I've just noticed is these clips right here, they spin, and it's kind of like a button in a way. It goes through that slot. Once you spin it, it'll pull it back. Same on this side. So let's go get some needle nose and spin those. That's going to be fun to put back together. How do you do that on the back side though? Like, oh, I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see, because you can't pull it off like without it being spun. Alright, so let's see if my hypothesis is correct. Alright, so Is it grab and pull and twist, or? Yeah, it's just twist. Okay. I mean, you got to pull it out some, but I think. But then you twist, and it lets that clip go. Okay. Okay, so the clip is what holds the tension. It's kind of springy. Okay. So you just take and do it over here now. Push against it. So that's one thing I would do first if I was to take these off or put them on again, is I would take and do the clips first to take them off. Anyway, I don't know about to put them on. Probably it holds them still, holds them kind of still. And now we should just be able to finagle and hang them down out of the way here. So we've hit all the studs out. Now it's time to start putting the new ones in. It's the same process as what the front was. I just wanted to film me taking off the drum brake and the rotor and stuff there. So let me get all these done, and then when we go to put the shoes back in, I'll show you how to do that, I guess. The reason why it's still connected is because, well, it's pressed in, kind of riveted here, and then this is, I mean, I think that could come off. Yeah, that can come off, but why would I take the e-brake off, you know, when I'm just going to put them right back in? Just swing it down out of the way, and we're good to go. All right, I'll be back in a second. So we ran into a snag here. You can take all the brake stuff off if you want to. You're probably gonna have to anyway. You have to take the spindle and the hub. Take these 4 bolts out. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then to take the axle nut off, to get this off to where you can slide these studs in behind. Because look, I'll show you. Where'd that stud go? Here it is. Look, and that's butted up against, and it's sticking past. And you can't finagle it, you know, angle it in there and then spin it for it to, you know, spin on through. I mean, you could if this cable wasn't sticking out and it wasn't so obnoxious with that spring on it, but it is. So I mean, we could try it right here, because this side, that side right there has an indentation. There's an indentation right there. We might be able to finagle that without taking this axle nut off, taking the whole set out. We'll see. But it's a 32 mil if you have to take your axle off. I searched it on Google, and I got 6 different answers for 5 different vehicles, you know. So I had to dig for it. It's a 32 mil. I'll leave it down. There's going to be a list down in the description, I guess. Alright guys, so I'm going to have to interrupt for just a second, and I'm sorry about the blurry picture, but I had to pause the video to show you guys. I don't want you to break yours or break your sensors on your car like I did on mine. But this sensor right here, if you can see my cursor, take that out. That is your wheel speed sensor. You can kind of see it right here, sticking through the knuckle there inside. Make sure you take this sensor loose and pull it out of the way, because it will put your car into limp mode if it's broken. And your car is really hard to drive in limp mode. It only goes to 4,000 RPM, and it stalls while you're stopping. So yeah, just thought I'd give you all a little heads up. All right, back to the video. Again, it's a 32 mil socket for that axle nut. Well, look at there. We had to take off the axle nut and then those 4 bolts that I showed you before, which go through here, and that slips over the wheel bearing assembly and the spindle, which you have to slide the axle out of those splines that are in there. You can see them down in there. And you may have to, I know it's not recommended, but may have to take your hammer and hit on the end of the axle a little bit, or take a center punch or something that you can put in that divot right there. I was using my screwdriver. So we got one in and I held it with my hand and seated it. Hold on, let me get it around here for you. Seated it all the way down, held it by my hand, right? But I have a genius here. My dad said, hey, just put all those studs in and then mount it back up so you don't have to do that. Okay, Dad, we'll do that.
Not a problem.
There you go. Cool. Didn't get to do the brakes on the truck before my phone runs out. Didn't get to do the brakes on the truck because I didn't know that I would have to take off the whole spindle of my car and take the axle out and everything to get these studs in, and it took incredibly too long. And not to mention, two more, this is really weird, because I broke all the lugs loose last night, and then I jacked the car up, right? Well, on the passenger side rear, two more studs broke off or something. Like I don't know what happened. Either the stud material, like the actual stud, is really soft, or the lug nuts are crap. And they're factory lug nuts, factory studs. But something happened, and there's a horse fly in front of me. Something happened and the threads stretched on the old factory studs. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I may be back with you, I may not, because my phone may die. But all right, quick little tip. I don't know if I covered it in the other portions of this video, but you just take an old stud and wedge it between the bolt, that bolt end here. It's not going to mess up the threads on it if you do it like this. If you lay it like that, it's not going to mess up the threads. And then wedge it against the head of the new stud, and then you can sit there and turn this and pull that stud in without that moving. You may have to push like towards the way, unless you're doing with a pneumatic tool or whatever, but if you're doing it with hand tools like I am, like a ratchet, I have to hold up on it, because when I pull back on the ratchet to reset and go again, it kind of bobbles a little bit and that'll fall out. But then when you go to loosen it, just back it off some, take it out, flip it, and then you're ready to break that loose when it gets tight. So I mean, it's really simple, you know, just take and set it in there. There you go. Cool. I'll show you the finished product right here.